So hello everyone, welcome back. It's lovely to see you all. Let's get started by going into the superpower state first. So take a deep breath, close your eyes, and get into the superpower state however you do that. Using your word or phrase, or imagining hugging someone or something you love. Feel your heart opening, expanding, and allow that light, that energy to shine out from your heart, and then allow it to spread down to your toes, up to the top of your head, and out to your fingertips. So you're now full of that light, that energy. Now allow it to fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body. Love each cell just for existing. Very good. And now allow that light, that energy to expand, to overflow from you and fill the whole room you're in. Like an angel stretching his wings. Very good. Now think of the little you, yourself as a child, and fill that little you with that same love, that light, that energy. See that child's own power shining out from his or her own heart. And now allow that light, that energy to overflow from that child and fill their whole world. It protects them and it empowers them. And see that light or energy filling everything in your childhood, everything, everyone, every experience, shining that light into any darkness, loving it all anyway, no matter what. Very good. And now think of your subject, fill your subject with that light, that energy, that love. Love them just for existing. Fill them with that light, that energy. And now imagine they don't want to be with you, or they're negative in some way, they're miserable, whatever it is, and keep them filled with that light, that energy, that love anyway, exactly as they are. Good job. And now pick a minor target like what we did yesterday, just something mildly irritating, and fill that. Aim your light, your energy at that. Fill that target with the light, the energy, shine that love. Love it anyway, no matter what. Very good. And now fill everyone in this group with that same light, that energy, that love. Love each one just for existing, everyone who's on this call today. Very, very good. All right. You can open your eyes and let's check in with everybody. How are you doing? So starting with Tina. Hey, Tina, how are you today?
Morning. I'm great and I am getting better.
Good job. Very good. I'm pleased to hear it. Any questions today? or targets?
Yeah, because, like that situation, you hear all that story. You don't know what is truth, what is lie, and this all that whole world right now running. Like, I'm confused. I don't know what is truth anymore.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is it, what matters? What's wrong with not knowing what's true and what's not at the moment?
Scary. You don't know what
Scary?
is, yeah, the fear.
Okay. Okay. And so if you knew what was true and what was not, how would that change things? How would that change your life or what you're experiencing right now?
Well, I will know what to do because right now I don't know what is the best.
Okay. All right. And so so here's the thing is we can't magically suddenly undo anything or change anything from the outside of us. We can only change how we are experiencing it. Now, if there is something you can do, of course, do that. So if you're able to do some research or to find out something, to take some action, absolutely do that. And make sure that you're in a feel-good state first, so you're strategic about it, and so that your judgment is online, you're able to think clearly and strategically. If there is nothing you can do, then feeling bad and wondering what's true, what's not true, all of that is not helping anyway, right? It's not going to change anything. But what it can do is it can impair your judgment, so that when you do take action, it's not based on logic, strategy, clarity. So either way, the top priority, whenever you worry about, I don't, there's people are saying this, then other people are saying that, and I don't know what's true. As you're thinking that, that's the moment to make the choice of where you're going to put your focus. So I don't know if this is true. I don't know if that's true. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to focus on my color. I'm going to get myself into a feel-good state and bring my prefrontal cortex online. Then I will come back to this. And then I will strategically work out if there's anything that I can find out or if there's anything I can do about it. All right. And then as soon as you start to feel triggered again, pull back. So think of it this way. Think of it like you're trying to you're trying to saw down a tree, right? With well, no, let's do an axe. You're trying to chop down a tree. I usually mix them. So you're trying to chop down a tree and you need to sharpen the saw. And Steve pointed out you don't chop with a saw. So here we go. You're chopping down a tree with an axe. And when the axe gets blunt, which means it's not doing a good job anymore, it's not doing any cutting, you need to stop and sharpen the axe, right? Spend some time sharpening the axe. Once it's sharp, now you can come back to the tree and start again. As soon as it gets blunt again, you need to stop, because if you just keep hitting the tree with the axe, it's going to exhaust you. It's going to take a lot longer, and it's not going to get anything done. So see it that way. Remind yourself. You can even, for everybody, in fact, if you wanted to, you could put a picture of an axe somewhere, or write on a Post-it note, stop, sharpen the axe, or stop, axe, whatever, however you want to remind yourself, because we tend to forget. The problem is that we forget when we're in the middle of it. And so see it that way. So as soon as you start to become overwhelmed or feeling like, I don't know what's true, I don't know who to believe, anything like that, go, okay, the axe is blunt. So I need to step back, think of my color, get into the superpower state, think of 5 things to be grateful for, listen to music, do whatever it takes to get into that feel good state. Once you're feeling good, that means the axe is now sharp. Now you can come back and look at what you were looking at before and go, oh, okay, so let me see what I can work out here, or what it means to me, what action I can take, and so on. And then bear in mind, if that axe gets blunt again, you'll stop again. So keep sharpening it. Does that help?
Yes, probably I will have to be all the time going to the good state.
To begin with, yes. Yes, to begin with, because it's new. So you're building that skill. So for example, if you were learning to ride a bike, you would be falling off a lot, right, to begin with. But each time you got back on, then you go and then you fall off again. You keep doing it. You keep getting back on. You don't stay down. You keep getting back on. Eventually, you can now ride a bike, can't you, without falling over?
Yeah.
Right.
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So that's the way to look. And that's the same with any skill. You know, if you were learning to play a musical instrument, you would keep making mistakes. You'd keep having to go back to the top of the scale, back to the top of the scale over and over, and it wouldn't last very long, you know, and then eventually, I mean, the playing it correctly wouldn't last very long at first. Eventually, you'd be able to play.
Okay.
And this is the same. Sharpening the axe is the same. So redirecting your focus is exactly the same, because you'll get to the point where you automatically are refocusing, redirecting your focus without even thinking about it. It'll happen unconsciously.
Okay.
All right. Good job. You're welcome, Tina. All right. Let's go to Kara. Hi, Kara.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you today?
I am great and I am getting better.
Good job. Good
Every
job.
day
Yay.
better.
In every way.
Yes,
Good.
every day and every way. I love your analogies. You are the queen of analogies.
Thank you. My brain thinks in analogies.
I don't really have any questions. I'm doing good.
Good.
I have some ants in my kitchen, so I'm directing the Superpower at them.
Good. Oh, that's a good
I'll
one.
let you know what happens.
Yes, please do. That'll be very interesting. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, good job. Thank you. And on to Katrina. Hi, Katrina.
I thought I was going to be last today. You're going, I was watching the screen here.
Yes, we've got one more after you.
Okay, right, I'm back on the horse again.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Okay. Yes, and yeah, and I'm feeling good, and I love feeling good.
Good.
Just love it, yeah.
Yes.
And what else? Yes, I want to say out loud to the group, isn't oh my goodness, I can't even read. Sorry.
It's all right.
Isn't Odile just lovely?
Ah.
That's what I'm saying. And
Thank
then, and I am now sending you love.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I really appreciate that. That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Katrina. And right back at you.
Oh, thank you. And the target, yes, my right wrist is twicking a little
Okay.
at me. So, yeah.
Very good. So, Steve, you got that? Right wrist. Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you for sharing that. And on that topic as well, just for everybody, I meant to, I thought of it when we were doing the Superpower course, Superpower exercise today at the beginning of the session. I thought I must tell you all, just because it's maybe nice to know, that whenever we're doing that exercise, I am sending it all to you automatic. That's what I do automatically, just so you know that that's what's happening. So, all right. And Ashley, good morning, Ashley. How are you today?
Good morning. Good. I'm glad to be here.
Good.
So thank you. I missed a couple, but I noticed for me, it's the subconscious and the old programmings. I said this before, really trying to keep me stuck, but it's really, yeah, and I know, so it takes 60 days for me to have it. I know that it's going to be time and repetition, but it's like, they're really trying, for instance, stay in bed longer and, just everything. And it's like,
Yes. I know what you mean.
And the negative thinking, when that spirals, because I wasn't always that person. It was just the last, year. Mm-hmm. So I had time to form new patterns that were negative, and it was the biggest low ever. And I'm out of that, and I came out of it, but I find that it's trying to sort of pull me back to, okay, this is your identity and this is where you're going. And I know some of the roots again that are there, but yeah, so it's just no, don't move forward, don't be successful, don't chase your dreams again, because I've stopped and got into this low for a bit. And then when I've started again the past bit, it's like, yeah, just trying to pull me back into that old.
Absolutely. And that's completely natural.
But is
Because
it okay to fight, like, because I guess I'm afraid to go back and stay that way. Like, do you know what I mean?
yes,
And I know
do.
fear is resistance, and I don't want to resist, but I definitely don't want to go down that.
So the answer is, the clever answer to that is to love it, whatever's there. So when you feel like, oh, stay in bed longer, go, I love that. And when you feel like, oh, don't do this, don't go forward, don't achieve your dreams, I love that. Just love it all anyway, even when you can't feel it. Love it anyway. Decide you love it anyway. So intention. And as you do that, you're bringing down the stress chemicals and producing feel-good chemicals without even trying. But what you're not doing is getting back into that cycle. So, if somebody pushes you, right, and they want to start a fight. Now, if you push back or you react in a negative way of any kind, then it's on. The engagement is there. Everybody's engaged. We've lost your picture, by the way.
Oh, yeah, hold on.
But if they push you and you just look at them and go, thank you, I love you. They may push again for a bit, but eventually they're not going to keep pushing, because if you're just going, oh, thanks so much, I love you. It's like, now, this is the same. Resistance, I came up with this a while ago, this phrase, resisting resistance is futile. Okay, there's no point in resisting resistance, because the more you resist resistance, the more you engage with it.
Right.
So it's the opposite. So when you feel resistance, change your approach and the way you see it, and go, okay, good job. I like that. I love you. I love you. Thank you. If you start thanking that part of you that says, don't move forward, stay in bed longer, you don't achieve your dreams, this is all terrible, this is never going to work, whatever those negative thoughts are, as those negative thoughts come up, if you start thanking them and going, thank you, I appreciate that, I appreciate you. It's treat it as your guard dog. So, because that part of you is trying to keep you safe by keeping you the same. So treat it as your guard dog and go, thank you for protecting me. And you don't need to force yourself to do anything. So let's say it's that part of you doesn't want you to take whatever action to move forward. If you, instead of feeling bad about it or arguing with it or buying into it, if you just say, okay, thank you for that, I appreciate it. And then do whatever it takes to feel good. Even if that's just watching some comedy, listening to some music, going for a walk, or looking for 5 things to be grateful for. So what I'm trying to say is, don't fight it. So you don't need to fight it, and you don't need to join it. You can take a step back and appreciate it. And love and appreciation is the the antidote to all of the negativity, all of the resistance. Does that help?
Yes, and I guess the other thing is back to the negative thoughts, because they were programmed in me for about a year, and it was just like, it's the automatic, and they come up, but I don't know. I think I said this before, if you've ever battled, they're constant and just.
Yes. So one of the things that helps me, so in fact, if you go to my my Facebook page, my own Facebook profile, I posted a video yesterday called "One Quick Tip for gaining control over your mind," or something like that. I can't remember the full details, but it's one quick tip. In there is a very quick little technique for redirecting your focus as those negative thoughts come up. Okay, so if you, and it's like dog training. So if you go to that video and watch that, That'll give you that technique. So the idea is not to get upset or buy into those negatives. So expect them to come up. So it's not like you're thinking, well, now I'm not going to have negative thoughts anymore. And then you get disappointed. Just as the negative thoughts come up, go, okay, thank you, I love you. It's not what's happening, it's how you're reacting to what's happening that's going to make the difference. So that takes the pressure off you as well, because you're not expected to not have negative thoughts. You're not even expected to have fewer negative thoughts. They're coming, just don't hit the ball back. Does that help?
Right. Yep.
Good. All right. You're very welcome. Oh, there goes my screen again. There we go. All right. So and then we have in the chat, let's have a look. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was too late to join yesterday. I missed the warm feeling of the group. That's nice. I was able to listen to the session this morning. It was great. The notion of empowerment given by Stephen O'Deal resonated a lot with me. Thank you. You're very welcome. Good job. Chris is walking along the River Thames this morning and I added to my list of childhood homes. I'll add photos to our memory page later. Lovely, Chris. That's wonderful. That's Steve. Love the way of thinking. Good. Best thing I did was to stop watching or listening to the news. Yes. The focus is always to hook you into listening so they come from a negative mindset. Absolutely spot on. Thank you for sharing that. So here's the thing. The news and anything, the reason they come from a negative position is because we are designed to focus on the negative. So because stress chemicals are stronger than feel-good chemicals for survival, the effect of a negative point of view or negative news is much stronger, and it grabs our attention and keeps us fixated on it because that's survival. So that's why they do it. Whether they know that that's the reason or not, they do know that people are more engaged when something negative is happening. And you'll have noticed for yourself as well, when something triggers you, you feel upset, angry, frustrated, any of those negative emotions, you are more engaged, you're more focused, and all of that. So that's the reason. Now, knowing that can help. Remind yourself, okay, this is just survival. Sometimes it's irresistible and you'll still be drawn to it anyway, but do what you can to start breaking that pattern, that habit. And especially, so here's the thing, it doesn't mean you never watch the news. It doesn't mean you're never going to watch the news or read the news or anything like that. What it means is you're going to wait until you're in a good state before you do so. You're going to wait until you feel good and you can. So, I stopped watching the news, reading the news, all of that a while ago. Now, when I do, because I do keep up with it so that I know what our clients are talking about when they share with me some of the challenges that they're experiencing from what's going on in the world. But now I can watch it, I can read it, I can listen to it without feeling at all triggered. And that's because I've changed that state, I've changed that pattern, and I've changed the references. And if I do start to feel triggered, I stop immediately. I go and sharpen the saw, the axe. All right. So that's but otherwise you are, I'm trying to think of another analogy. Yeah. You're wanting to go on a sugar diet, not eat sugar. And then you're sitting in a bakery. Every time you watch the news, you're sitting in a bakery. You can't help but eat the sugar, right? So wait until you've completely kicked the sugar habit and you no longer have cravings for sugar. Then you can meet your friends in the bakery for coffee or whatever, and you don't need to eat the sugar. You can be there without being affected by it. All right. And I'm new to your work, but experienced something rather amazing today. Someone I care blasted at me out of the blue, accusing me of things, and I remembered your story about going through something similar. And surprisingly, I wasn't too affected and could recognize that it was out of hurt and frustration of what is going on in their life, and not necessarily totally true reflection of the situation. I could deal with it calmly and logically, and it turned out well. Thank you. You're very, very welcome, and thank you for sharing that, because that's a lovely example. And yes, you know, when you're being attacked by someone, accused of something, anything like that, remember that what they're saying is from their own programming. It has literally nothing to do with you. Because if they had different programming, they'd be saying different things. They'd be experiencing different things, and then they would be expressing it differently. So that can be very, very helpful when you're put on the spot where someone is being unreasonable or accusing you of something you didn't do, or reacting in any negative way like that. Remember that it's coming from what they're seeing through their own eyes is genuine to them. That's how they're seeing it. And they're responding, and that's coming from their own programming. You're not responsible for that. What you're responsible for is how you are experiencing it, and you have control over it. You don't have control over what they do or what they say or anything like that, but you have absolute control over how you experience it. And it doesn't feel like that very often, but the more you practice, the easier it gets. So, you know, a little while ago, not long ago, somebody accused us of something that is not true and unreasonable and so on. And we, thank goodness, luckily, because we practice what we teach, we were able to not be triggered by it and just see it that's that person's programs. They're just, you know, it's their own fears and whatever they've experienced and whatever they're continuing to experience that is resulting in what they're saying and what they're doing. All right, so hopefully that helps. And thank you for sharing that, love. It's a good way of refocusing, Kathy. I'm not sure what that was to, the news possibly. Okay, and then best decision I ever made is quite freeing. Yes, I agree. So that's all to do with watching the news. Yes, very good. Fantastic, Kara. Happy for you. Good. Just on the ants situation, Cheryl shares, I put cinnamon out and my ants went back outside. Okay, very good. So that's an option to try. But I think, but definitely do the unconditional love as well first before you do that anyway. Katrina, I love feeling good. Beautiful. Nice. And when in this so Lisa, when in this love state and manifesting what you want to see in physical form, like money or house, etc., can you work on multiple things being in the love feeling good state? Yes, absolutely. And what I would actually recommend is, rather than thinking of the details like a house, money, and so on, only think of the feeling. Focus on the feeling, because if you focus on the feeling of whatever that means to you. So, you know, let's say money in the house, and if you imagine you have the money in the house and you home in on the feeling of that, maybe it feels expansive, maybe it feels exciting, maybe it feels secure, whatever that feeling is, then that becomes your destination. And then whatever happens, however it comes about, you will end up with that feeling, whether that's the way you thought it would happen or a completely new way, which is what usually happens, which is what happened with me. If you focus on just the feeling, you cannot go wrong, because you're going to end up feeling that way regardless of the details. All right, because we tend to think that we need, you know, everybody wants to feel a certain way, and the conscious mind thinks that will make me feel this way. If I had that, then I would feel this way. If I had that, then I'd feel this way. If I was in a relationship, I'd feel this way. If I had money, so on. But the end result is the feeling, not the things. Because if you did get let's say you want a house and money, and you get the house and money, and it doesn't feel the way you thought it would feel, there would be no point to it, because you'd still be looking for that feeling. So focusing on the feeling will take care of everything else, and it's much easier as well. You don't have to know how, you don't have to focus on the details. Does that help? Does that answer your question? Good job. Thank you, Lisa. I remember last year's, cinnamon. Yeah. So another cinnamon works. Oh, yes. So you want to test the superpower. Very good. To increase your confidence. If that fails, cinnamon, it will be very good, Garrett. Good job. If time permits, can you give some more examples on how the unconditional love was used and what changes you noticed? Yes, of course. So there's a lot. So I'm assuming you're talking to me, or if anybody else in the group wants to chip in, do. There's a lot of examples of how it worked for me and how it worked for people I taught it to in my book, You Have a Superpower. So if you are doing the Superpower course, then the book is included free in that, so don't buy it. But if not, it is on Amazon, and there are stories in there from people who've used it for various different things. But for me, probably the biggest result from just the Superpower, so before I found out about changing childhood memories, was no more fear. It took the fear away completely, because I was completely empowered. So I knew that nothing could hurt me. And then I've used it fixing inanimate objects, not on purpose. They just happened to work. I just sent love, whether they're fixed or not, and they were fixed. The Superpower group also has a lot of examples in there, and physical things. So abscess under my tooth, fibromyalgia, and a few other things like that, and relationships. Yeah, so I've shared some of that, but in the book there's more details than that. So hopefully that helps. Wanda, hello, how are you today?
Hi, good. Sorry I was late.
That's all right.
I have no update, but I would like to be targeted with my resistance to do the homework.
Okay.
I tried 3 times yesterday, and one time, I thought of something that I needed to do, and I got up. And then I sat down again, and then the phone rang, and I picked up the phone.
Okay.
And then I tried before I went to bed, and I said, I'm not going to get laid down. I'm just going to be sitting on my bed to be able to do it. And I fell asleep.
Okay.
So, and then this morning I try again, and then I said, I need to plant some flower, and I got up again. So I noticed that I'm resisting to do the exercise.
All right. So one of the quickest fix to that is to do it while you're doing other things. So you don't need to sit down just to do this. So for example, you go and plant flowers, do it while you're planting the flowers. Send the flowers the love and the earth and whatever tools you're using. So use it so you can sit down to start with, but when you have that feeling like, I'm going to do this first, do it while you're doing that, because that will, number one, it'll take away that resistance. And number two, you'll get the practice in. And number three, that's what you're aiming for anyway, is to be able to do it as you go about your day.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
Good job. You're very welcome, love. All right. And anything else here? Let's see. Please aim at Sarah, her father, and me. I'm starting to lose my feeling of safety. Have you got that one on the list, Steve? Great, thank you. Good advice. Love how you explain how to focus on the feeling rather than the thing. Great advice. Thanks, Adele. You're very, very welcome. Superpower book is right beside me. It's vital to our survival. Very good. The Superpower course and the book helped me a lot to understand and practice. That's really good to hear. Yay. Thank you, Adil. I focused on my skin as my target practice for sending unconditional love. Very good. Perfect. All right. So I think that's everyone's checked in with, and we have all targets. I do have an extra target that was sent to me by email. May I send a request for today when the group meet? My youngest daughter had a difficult birth delivery last year. She revealed to me this week that it was compounded by the presence of her partner, the baby's father, who she knew did not love or respect her. We did not know this at the time. I thought his presence was great help and comfort. She has been left with feelings of unworthiness and poor self-value and worthlessness. I want to send unconditional love retrospectively to that situation and feel the strength to do so. I would appreciate it so much and be honored if you all join me. What power, what love. Okay, so P.S. when she returned to the country last year as a lone single parent filled with superpower, I did a visualization of her finding a great job and in a new life, and it happened. Now I'm aiming at her heart, emotions, and self-esteem. I'm loving her situation now and in the future. Very, very good. So if we could add that to the list, please, Steve. Thank you very much. So we will do that. Fantastic. All right. So I wanted to acknowledge and congratulate Katrina for doing the earlier exercise with your eyes open, even though I didn't say to open your eyes. Well done. Good. I was very happy to see. I was wondering if you would, and I thought, yes, good girl. Well done. All right. So let's go into this. I see. Yes, those are the list of targets. Thank you, Steve. All righty. So take a deep breath, close your eyes if you want to, or you can leave them open, and go into your superpower state in whatever way you normally do that. So using your word or phrase, or by thinking about hugging something or someone you love. Notice your heart opening, that feeling in your chest or your solar plexus. Feel your heart opening, expanding. Feel that light, that energy shining out from you. And allow it to spread down to your toes and up to the top of your head, out to your fingertips. So you're full of that light, that energy. Fill each of the 50 trillion cells that make up your body with that same light or energy. Love each cell just for existing. And now think of the little you. Fill that little you with that same light, that energy. Love that little you just for existing. And allow that light and energy to overflow from that little you and fill your whole childhood and everyone in it. Love it all anyway. This is your power, shining that light into any darkness. Now think of your subject and fill your subject with that same light, that energy. And as they reject you or try and get away, or they're feeling miserable, keep them filled with that same light, that energy. Love them anyway, exactly as they are. If any negative thoughts or you can't feel the feelings or anything like that, love that as well. And let's go to Tina. Fill Tina with that same light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Tina just for existing. Very good. And now fill those feelings of being confused and scared, not knowing what's true and what's not. Fill all of that with that same light, that energy, that love. Love it all anyway. Good job. And now let's go to Kara. Fill Kara with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Kara just for existing. Very good. And now think of the ants, Kara's ants, and send them love. Send that light, that energy to all of the ants, filling each ant with that light, that energy, that love. Love the ants just for existing, whether they go away or not. Love them all anyway, shining that light into darkness. Very good. And now to Lisa. Fill Lisa with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. And allow that love, that light, that energy to overflow from Lisa and fill her son from the tips of his toes to the top of his head and out to his fingertips. Love Lisa's son just for existing. Very good. And now to Katrina. Fill Katrina with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Lisa just for existing. And now homing in specifically on Lisa's right wrist. Fill her wrist with that same light, that energy. Love it just for existing no matter what. Very good. And now let's go to Wanda.
That's Katrina.
Katrina's wrist, yes.
Yes, not Lisa's wrist.
No, Katrina, yes. That's right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Wanda, fill Wanda with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. Love Wanda just for existing. And now fill Wanda's resistance to doing the work with that same light, that energy. No matter whether she's resistant or not to doing the homework, love it all anyway. Very good. Good job. And now to Ashley. Fill Ashley with that same light, that energy. From the tips of her toes to the top of her head and out to her fingertips. So she's full of that light, that energy. Love Ashley just for existing. And whatever resistance may come up, whatever negative thoughts, all of that, love it all anyway. Whether Ashley feels doubts or experiences resistance, love it all anyway, love all the negative thoughts anyway, exactly as they are, shining that light into the darkness. Very good, good job. And on to Carrie. So filling Carrie with that light, that energy, from the tips of her toes to the top of her head, out to her fingertips. Love Carrie just for existing. And allow that light, that energy to overflow from Carrie and fill her daughter and her daughter's father with that same light, that energy. Love it all anyway. Now imagine that light or energy forming a protective shield around Carrie and her daughter, keeping them safe. That beautiful white light surrounding them, protecting them, shining out from their own hearts and protecting them with their own power. Very good. And now let's go to the person who wrote earlier, the daughter, with the experience of the difficult birth last year. So let's shine that light, that energy back in time to last year during the birth of that child. Fill the mum with that light, that energy, the baby and the partner who was there at the time. Fill them all with that light, that energy, that love, no matter what. And whatever negative emotions exist now from that time, fill all of those with that light, that energy. Love it all anyway, shine that light into that darkness. All the feelings of unworthiness, the poor self-value, the worthlessness, all of that, love it all anyway, shining light into the darkness. Very, very good. And now let's fill everyone from, let's do wrongly accused. So people who feel wrongly accused, fill all of that with light, energy, love it all anyway. And to the person with the issues with their skin, love that anyway. Fill that person with light and energy from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, out to their fingertips. Love them just for existing. And now allow that light, that energy to fill all the cells of their skin. Love each skin cell just for existing, no matter what, whether it changes or not. Love it all anyway. And now let's fill each of the people on this call who are not on camera, who are incognito. Fill all of them with that same light, that energy, that love, from the tips of their toes to the top of their head, out to their fingertips. Love them just for existing. And to everybody watching this recording, fill them with that light, that energy, that love. Love them just for existing, no matter what. And now fast forward to later today, yourself later today, and fill that version of you with that same light, that energy, no matter what, whether you do what you intend or not. Love it all anyway, love you anyway. And now open your eyes, If you want to give it a go with your eyes open, maintain that light, that energy, maintain that state, that power, that love. And start aiming it at things you see around you, either on the screen or inanimate objects around you. Fill all of it with that light, that energy, that love. Feel that expansion as you do that. Feel your power getting stronger. Very, very good. All right. So see if you can maintain this state for the rest of this session while we're discussing and talking and checking in with everybody. So see how long you can maintain that state. When you lose it, just keep coming back to it when you think of it. And so any questions or comments or need for help or anything like that? I'm sorry about the wrist. I thought I did say Katrina's wrist. What did I say? Did I say Lisa's wrist? I'm sorry. Well, Lisa's wrist got a bonus then. Katrina's wrist. Kara?
Well, I'm going to share this because maybe it'll help someone else. I realized I've had this mantra going on of, oh, that doesn't work for me.
Okay.
No matter what it was, oh, that won't work for me. That doesn't work for me. And it was creating a nocebo effect, right?
It was created what, sorry?
A nocebo effect. You know,
Oh, yes, the placebo, yeah.
And so I think I've released that now.
Very good.
Yeah. And,
well done.
And the other thing I wanted to say is I found today as we opened, when you said open your eyes or not, I found I could easily flow between having my eyes open and then starting to lose the feeling and going back to my eyes being closed. And it just went in a nice flow like that. So
perfect. Oh, well done, Kara, and thank you for sharing that, because that's the perfect example. Yes, so opening, and that's how to get used to your eyes doing it with your eyes open. So fantastic. Thank you, Kara, and well done. Congratulations for letting go of that. It doesn't work for me. And I know that a lot of us, I had that as well. A lot of people have that. So that's really useful to share. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Lovely. And anybody else have questions? Or Ashley? Yes.
Yeah, I find at the beginning I'm having a hard time feeling the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so not just in this, but like a lot of times, like when I'm thinking of that feeling, it's been muted.
Yes.
For a bit, I think before, just from negative thoughts. And
that's right. And
yeah.
so what that is because you're used to having the stress chemicals in your system. The level of stress chemicals is already quite high, even when you're not actually feeling them, because that's been your status quo for a while now. That's where you're starting from. So in order to, and because stress chemicals are stronger than feel-good chemicals, it's going to take longer to produce enough feel-good chemicals to bring those stress chemicals down and start feeling the effects of the feel-good chemicals. So just keep going. As you can't feel it, love the fact that you can't feel it. So that is the clever little trick to this, is as you're not feeling it, decide that you love that you can't feel it. You love the fact that you can't feel it, even though you can't feel it, if you know what I mean. Just make that intention, make that decision, and you'll start to find, and remember that it's like physical fitness, where just keep doing it, and each time you lose it, just go back to the beginning. If you need to go back to the beginner's exercise, that's absolutely fine as well. So do whatever it takes. And some days it'll be stronger than others, and that's also okay. Just keep moving forward. So I hope that helps. Wanda?
Oh, okay. So when I was doing the exercise, I have different pains.
Yes.
So every time I felt a pain in one area, I was saying, you know, like I love that pain, and then it would move to another area, and then I say I love that pain. So it was like moving.
Yep.
And I kept saying I love you, and it would move to another area. So I like that.
Isn't it fascinating? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And keep doing that. Keep going, and you'll find that it improves and improves over time. Good job. Thank you, Wanda, and thank you for sharing that. That's great.
Okay.
Very good. And any other questions or comments, Katrina?
Yeah, a comment from yesterday. You were saying to memories and do what you want when you want.
Oh, yes.
Well, I didn't do that. And what came up today was my mother would have said, if I said black, you would say white. Is that a
I heard that phrase myself a lot growing up, that exact phrase.
Yeah, so I always could never agree, and it wasn't on purpose. I just didn't agree with that opinion, but it was like she was so annoyed that I wouldn't agree with her.
Yes, and of course that will have been coming from her own references. So you not agreeing with her would have meant something to her, then she was reacting to that. It had nothing to do with you actually agreeing or not.
Okay.
And if you had agreed with her, she would have found another way to feel that feeling.
Okay. And is there anything more to this story?
So of course, when you now rewriting that, make sure that you change that to the opposite, positive empowering, which means imagine your mum now saying, you know what I love about you, Katrina, and I'm so proud of you, is that you're not afraid to speak your mind, and that is that's so powerful. I'm so proud of you. Okay. You must always feel free to speak your mind. That's authentic. And I respect your opinion. Thank you, sweetheart, for sharing that with me. I really appreciate it. That's what you want to change it to.
Wow. Because, yeah. I mean, I do say things and I do seem to upset people, but I always say, I'm coming from my heart. I'm not being mean and horrible. You know, it's just like, well, you just don't want to hear what I'm saying, but...
Yes. And then also remember that your experience of other people is also going to be filtered through through your own references. So because I used to be always worried about upsetting people, and I was always being diplomatic and wary of what I'm saying and all of that. And I would automatically assume what someone else is, you know, I'd try and preempt what they would say, what they would think. And so which meant that I wasn't authentic. I was always pretending something or other so as not to upset anyone. And this, being in a state of unconditional love, completely changed that, because I'm coming from a state of unconditional love, I know that I don't mean any harm. I don't mean any meanness or harm or anything to anybody. So I'm coming from that state. And it also means that I'm not worried about what they think, because I know what they think is coming from theirs, and I can continue to love them exactly as they are, whether they think something of me or they don't think something of me. That's their stuff, and I can love that. And that's what helps. Does that make sense?
That's fantastic.
Good, good, good. Very good. It's very, very empowering. Good job. Because I remember I used to not post on Facebook much because I was worried about, because I have a very wide range of friends on Facebook from all my different, incarnations in life. You know, I've got a lot of theater friends. I've got a lot of friends who believe in things and don't believe in things, and from all different political backgrounds and religious backgrounds and all of that. And I was always worried to share what I believe and what I think, because I didn't want to alienate anyone. But then when I got to the stage where my approach is always from unconditional love, I started being able to be open, and I changed the childhood memories that were saying if somebody doesn't like me or if somebody's upset with me, I'm in danger. I changed that as well. So now I genuinely, if someone's not happy with me or whatever, I still love them, and it doesn't make me feel scared or incompetent or anything like that. Very good.
Thank you. That's good.
Yay, you're very welcome, love. You're very welcome, Katrina. Oh, all right. And so anything in the chat, Steve? Oh, we can't hear you.
Yeah, it's a wonderful headset. I'm sending love to it. A couple of reminders. Just a notice about next week. We will continue.
Yes, we will continue, and I forgot it's Friday. Yes, so I'll do the same as I did last week. I'll put the new link for booking for next week on the resources page, and I'll send an email out to anybody who was registered for this week through Eventbrite. I'll send out that email just confirming once I've done that. Sorry, there's also, I forgot to say, I forgot in the chat here, Lisa, Cheryl says, thank you, that was uplifting. Good, you're welcome. Lisa says, this was such an awesome session. Thank you very much. This week went by so fast. A very powerful week with you all, with all of you. Thank you, Lisa, and we love you very much. I can't. Oh, Ashley says I can't hear you. You keep freezing. Ashley, I think it's the internet on your side, but so you should be able to catch it through the recording. You should be able to pick it up, hopefully. Gary says, I got you, Katrina. We all deserve love. Yes, very good. Cheryl says, super helpful. Glad you asked, Katrina. Thanks, Lisa, for always uplifting us. Yes, I second those comments there. Sorry, Steve, do continue.
Nope. A reminder about practicing with slightly irritating things.
Yes, yes. So keep practicing with things that bother you a little bit, not too much. And the more you do that, and if you find you can't with something, then go to something a little easier. So see that as that was just a little bit, a level too high for your skill at the moment, or your skill today, where you are today. Go back a little bit and do something that's not as triggering, or do something completely neutral, like your coffee mug or something, to practice, build up your skill. And the biggest thing is take it very, very easy on yourselves. Be kind to yourselves no matter what. Steve?
And the last thing is reminder about next Saturday's workshop. If you're wanting to do a little bit deeper dive into the childhood memories.
Yes,
and joining us in the group that'll be there on Saturday for that.
Indeed, yes, we would love to have you. All right, very good. See you all on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. Look after yourselves, and I'll be sending you love all weekend as usual. All right, bye-bye now.